I just want to say yoga can be for everyone. However, it is your responsibility to determine if you are ready and able to perform this workout video. If you or a family member have a history of heart disease, high blood pressure, or are obese with any physical or medical condition that could be aggravated by a physical activity, please consult a physician before proceeding. If you are pregnant, also consider consulting a physician. If you have any history of injury such as neck, back, shoulder, or knee, please proceed with caution and stop immediately if you feel any pain, lightheadedness, or nausea. The user assumes all risks. Thanks, and I'll see you on the mat. Hi everyone, welcome back to Connection Yoga. And as always, little Roscoe Bear is here with me. My name is Kat, and we are here again to break down another yoga posture. A yoga asana, a pose, whatever word you want to put on it. We're going to talk about a shape that you make your body generally into and how to align your bones and your muscles and your mind to really feel the pose and explore it in a safe and stable way. The pose that we will be breaking down today is a treasure. It truly is an absolute favorite of mine, and I hope you see why soon and start to integrate it into your daily practice. It is a beautiful pose. Supine twist or belly twist is the more official breakdown of what it means. I call it supine because we're on our back and we're doing a twist. But our belly is really what is kind of twisting along with our ribs. So I have mentioned the importance of twisting before, but it's so important it's never a bad idea to come back and talk more about it. So digestion and overall torso issues are real. Our torso is essentially the huge intersection of our body. We've all been in traffic. We all know how traffic is, how these intersections can get crazy, congested, and not feel great, okay? So, but this can be assisted if you have sluggish digestion, low energy, stifled breathing, or oblique, which is your side body, your glute, so even your butt is getting involved here, your pecs, your piriformis, which is like a deep hip muscle that connects your hip to your spine. I personally pulled this muscle and it hurts a lot, but this pose gets that deep into your body. But other muscles also along the entire spine that you might feel aches or pains, we can really get into that place here. So this pose is for everyone, okay? Even if you don't have any of those issues, it works deep to make you feel good from the inside out. So we literally wring out our body by compressing the organs. We kind of, like you would stop a cut, you put compression and stop the blood from flowing. And if you would lift off the compression, then the blood would flow back. So the same thing is here. After we finish compressing, the nutrients, the blood rushes back into this part of our body and can really ease a lot of tension out of us and invite longer holds even in the poses, but general just restoration, re-energization, release, okay? So enough of the background information. I know you're dying to get into this pose. If you've never done it before though, this is generally what it looks like. And then we will break it down together. Boom, supine twist. Okay, and this is just one variation. So if you're looking at me or you're like, I know what I do, supine twist. Don't get ahead of me. We have other variations that we will talk about at the end. But we're going to generally start with our general alignment. Okay, so to get into this pose, you're going to lie onto your back. And really first start to stop here. maybe close your eyes and move inward into your body. Feeling long, feeling your entire spine grounded down here, hip bones resting, shoulders resting back at the skull. And just take a few breaths to begin to relax. Let go from wherever you are in the world. And then lift your knees up over your hips. Maybe you lift a hip up and set the back down, going an inch longer. Arms reach out to a T. And then on an exhale, you're going to let the legs fall to one side or the other. I'm starting on my left side. And your goal is more for your hips to stack. So you might shift one hip under so that the other hip comes over, okay? So as you do that, you might realize, like me, that the upper part of your shoulder, your back here, is lifting off the earth because either some tight or short muscles in our back, or something is perfectly normal. As you can see, I'm doing it. But you just want to make sure that you check in with your body and you really do focus on stacking the hips. That is what will protect your spine instead of over torquing it or misaligning it. So it keeps it a little bit, keeps the low back aligned while the ribs, the upper body, opens. And, you know, with more opening, more space, generally that shoulder might start to come back towards the earth, and it might not, and that's okay. We just stack the hips, the legs. Now, if you're like me and you're still trying to stack your hips, because I have a tight back, I've got tight hips, and so one thing I find myself, my knee quite doesn't reach over there. My hips might stack, but my knee is really what I'm not getting my legs all the way perfect, sealed sandwich like I want. And so this is when we start bringing in props. If this is the beginning of your yoga journey and no one has told you about props. Block is the first, and it is amazing. It does so many things. It brings the earth closer to ourselves. It creates more space for our bodies. It's just amazing. And this is one of the postures. So if you're finding your hips quite aren't stacking, you need a little more space because the space isn't in your muscles quite yet. So you put the block in between the knees, and that helps, stack the hips and keep everything aligned. But if you find that your legs are perfectly fine closed there, good for you. But otherwise, another option is you could put one underneath as well as in between the legs. Got another block, so I'm gonna bring it in. So if you find that the one block really quite wasn't enough, put another one under one knee and then one between them, okay? Stack the hips and really listen to your body and how far you can go. There's a difference between like landing somewhere and feeling it and like pushing deeper. Like you want to evolve into a pose with your breath, you evolve into a space in your body, specifically the twist, your upper rib side body, your pec is lengthening here. Your glutes are lengthening behind. But it all should be slightly passive with the active engagement and breath. You don't really just want to wrench your legs over here to get that full twist. I gotta really be twisted, okay? You bring in the props and support yourself as you need. I should probably always put one here. Now, that is the general leg hip alignment. Regarding the upper part of your torso, as I said, your shoulders are generally square, and when we twist with the ribs, not with the hips. That's why the hips are staying. Our rib cage is rotating open, okay? So our one arm that is out, that pec is lengthening all the way down the arm extension there. The hand on the side of the bent knees can come to the outsides of the knee. I find that's comfortable, and that's where it usually lands after I guide my legs over my body to the twist to try and, keep my knees in line with my hips instead of pulling them out too much. Now, it is okay if your knees come up closer to your chest. It just accesses a little bit of different place. The closer the knees are, the more in your low back you're gonna get. The lower your knees are, the more oblique and like outer hip action you're gonna get. So something, you just can modify, see what you want, what feels good for you. And back to the upper chest, we start with the gaze on the ceiling, our neck neutral with our spine. If you have no neck injury, and if it feels okay, you can maybe bring your gaze out over the extended arm towards the hand. And that'll add a little bit of lengthening in the neck side body and bring the twist all the way up through the gaze. So it's just a little extra, but it's completely unnecessary. There are other ways. It's fine to have your gaze just at the ceiling, or soften your drishti to what's in front of you right here. So literally looking at yourself, this moment, this space, whatever you want to do with your gaze that serves you, just do that. And remember to scan inside your body, and remember to just kind of let go. Okay? So I'm counterbalancing here. But now we can, I believe, begin to move into the modifications. So, as always with the breath, I want to come back to the breath first. You're completely supported here, so you should be able to breathe fully, freely. But if you find you are not breathing, then you are in it too deep. Okay, we are slightly compressing our diaphragm in this twist. And if you're compressing it to a point you can't breathe, you're in it too far. So listen to your body, listen to your breath, and it will all be good. Okay? So moving on to our modification. So the first one is one-legged. So we can do this, keep one leg out long. We feel the length of our spine here, and we take a bend in one knee. Maybe you pull it in for a little mini wind release with one leg, stretching out that hip. And then right arm out, left arm guides the leg over. Again, we want that 90-degree with our hips stacked here. If your knee doesn't find the ground and you find it's pulling you over, your hips are coming too far like mine, you bring a block and you can place it under your knee there. You stay supported, the bottom side of your body is long. Maybe your gaze comes over again. Okay, so this is the one leg version. And you can do that obviously on both sides. Squeeze the left knee in a few times. And on an exhale, guide it across the body, shift the hips so they stack, leg to a block or to the earth. Or maybe it floats, but really stay conscious about your hips stacking here. Maybe breathe into your side body, really help with the chest release. If you want more of the low back release, really focus on a belly breath. It's where you want the action. Again, you can pull this knee in a little bit closer, and then I'll get a little more low back action, but again, be mindful, listen to yourself. All right. So this one leg can be taken to the next level to a leg extended. So with the one leg, and then you extend the foot like you would for hand-foot pose, and you grab it and you hold it out. Now, my hips are probably not mobile enough for me to do this grounded, but I can do it lifted. So I'm going to bring a block under my leg here, and that'll keep my hips square. Some people can do this with their hips square, their leg all the way over, they're great, but my personal tightness is really bad on my outer hips. So this is where I stay with my block, and that's okay. That's fine with me. So
Another side, it might feel different. Maybe you will be able to do it on this side. Each side of your body is different. They're different energies in general. So it's totally okay. Finally, I know you're about done with me, but we've got one more juicy little supine twist. And this is an extra twisty one, okay? So it's twisted leg supine twist. You cross one leg over and then twist towards the way that you cross the legs. So, some people can get the full leg bind. I can't because my thighs are too big, but if you can, you can totally do like an eagle leg bind here and fall over, again, stacking the hips. This just adds a little bit more action on the leg portion, the outer hip, by having that pulled that way. Again, can bring the block underneath the knee if you want a little more support like me. Or just stay twisted, change your gaze up. This is just something you can explore for yourself in your space and just melt, okay? When you get there, you can just begin to breathe, to soften, to know that you're supported, you're doing something amazing for yourself, and you can do this whenever. You can put this on your TV and just lay here. There's not really a limit to how long to do these poses for. It's as long as you feel comfortable and can stay present with yourself and with your body. So that might be something you grow into each day. I can hold this longer, or it's not as much about going deeper, but like feeling it. Okay, so that's my 2 cents on this pose. I hope you really enjoyed it. It's super delicious. The key is just do both sides. If that wasn't obvious, I'm going to say it just so it's out there. Do both sides of your body. You don't want an unbalanced range of mobility if you can avoid it, because it happens naturally, but if we can not add to it by just not doing both sides of our body, make sure you do that. And then some good counter stretching for it is windshield wiper, letting your knees fall one side or the other and reset the low back, the spine, a bridge pose, or reverse tabletop. Reverse tabletop, ups on the hands, you lift your heels, bridge, you're down on your upper back. So that's it. That's supine twist. I hope you learned a little bit about your body, about this pose, and about just being mindful in yoga and knowing about props and when is the best time to use them. It is at the end of your practice, especially when you're holding poses for longer and you really, you want to get into your body deep. Use your time efficiently. Bring in a block. Please don't overstretch yourself. You can do that. You can overstretch. I digress. So I'll see you all next time. I love you all, and namaste.